qualifying campaign? How much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's obviously been a couple of months since the last camp, and all the girls here love being on camp, so it's not very nice when you got to be apart for so long, but it makes it more exciting when you're coming back into it. And obviously it's a new year, it's a new campaign, and it's really exciting future.
It feels like a new era in a way, I guess, with Jess Fishlock gone, and also Kaylee Barton, of course, from the Euros last year.
Yeah.
Does it feel like that way to you as players?
Yeah, they're both massive characters, and they've been a huge part of us as a family and a group. And yeah, it's been a big loss. Obviously Jess is in and around camp this time, which is really nice because it's not quite a bigger change so fast. I think we're all secretly hoping she'll come out of retirement for the game next week, but I don't think that's likely to happen. But yeah, it's really nice to have her around, and I'm sure Kaylee will be in and around at some point, whether it's this camp or next camp. So it's nice that the opportunities are still there. This group is genuinely a family, so for them guys to have been a part of it for so long, it's a massive change for them as well. So I'm glad that they can still be around for sure.
Yeah, Jess is a technical assistant to Rhian Wilkinson. What's she like so far as a coach? Is she different?
She's good. Yeah, no, it's really weird. I'm not gonna lie, but playing with Jess, she kind of coaches you on the pitch as well, so it's not too different. It's just weird seeing her in a different coloured kit, to be honest, and not being in the passing phases and things like that. But she took her first solo passing pattern this morning, and it went very well, so we all gave her a little round of applause.
2025 was a challenging year in terms of results, wasn't it? Although ended on a high with the Switzerland win. Rhian Wilkinson has talked about how that has really given everybody a confidence boost going into this new campaign. Do you feel like that? Do you feel optimistic that this year will be better in terms of results?
Yeah, it's really difficult. I think you can look at it on a results basis and think, oh, maybe it went bad, but then you can look at it on another hand, and the quality of opposition that we played throughout that year was a lot higher standard than we probably ever have played, and we had consistently good performances. We just couldn't quite get there with the end result and the final phase. But in terms of the process and the amount of progress we made over that year, I think that's probably the main thing that we need to focus on. Like, we went to the Euros and played 3 of the hardest teams in there. It was the luck of the draw, but like, that's exciting, and that's what you want as footballers, and I don't think we've ever been in that position. So yeah, on one hand, we want to win every game. Like, we want to score. We want it to be not comfortable, but a nice game. Like, you always want to win. But me personally, I enjoy getting better, and I think the only time you can do that is when you're really testing yourselves. So it was a difficult year in terms of the results, but I don't think it was that difficult, and it was quite easy to put it into perspective in terms of the rank of the opposition we were playing against, and that's what we want. So yeah, nothing too bad.
What would it mean to you, Hannah, to get to play a World Cup?
Oh, it'd be absolutely incredible. I think the journey that we've been on as a team so far has led us to so much success and growth. Obviously our first major tournament last year just gone, that was absolutely immense and incredible, and you never think it's going to get any better, and then once that's done, you're like, oh, okay, what's next? And then you're like, oh, amazing, World Cup in Brazil, absolutely, why not? And I'm sure you guys all want to be there as well, so we'll try and do our best. But yeah, that's the next goal, and obviously these games lead us into that, so we'll be doing our very best for sure.
And as players, I mean, are you aware of I'm sure you're aware how complicated it is to actually get there? You're in this group initially, but still a long way from qualifying, even if you do well in the group.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, it's very difficult to keep track of what games lead you to which stage, and it's very confusing. I'm sure you're aware. It's just as confusing for us, but I think the main thing for us is taking each camp as it comes, knowing that the end goal is the World Cup, and these games lead to the qualification for that. So our main goal right now is to top the group and perform well and get the results that we didn't quite get last year.
Mm.
And that's the main focus, and yeah, that's what we'll be looking to do.
And for you, Hannah, coming away on international duty, is it, I don't know, is it refreshing? It's not been an easy season for you at club level, I imagine.
Yeah, like I say, it's difficult. We're in a bit of a sticky situation at the moment that obviously no club wants to be in, but I was just saying actually that it changes so fast in football. 1 minute you can be at the bottom, as we are now with Leicester, but then before one weekend you're fourth from the bottom and you're a few points away from mid-table. So again, it looks bad, but you have to really put yourself in a different perspective of it can just change like that. And yeah, it's definitely refreshing to come on camp. It's different change of scenery, it's different players, it's just a different vibe. And yeah, and I'm really excited to get going again for Wales this year.
Can I ask you, since we last spoke to you, you put a post on social media, I think in November, I think it was, about social media, abuse of players and how it can affect mental health of players. What motivated you to do that? Why did you come? You said you didn't do it very often, but you felt the need to say something. Can you tell us a bit about
that? I think over the years, as obviously the women's game's grown, it's obviously opened up more of a platform for people to have their opinion and share their voices. And I'm okay for people to have their opinion every now and then, but I think at a certain point when it becomes to the detriment of somebody, I don't agree with that. I think, unfortunately, social media has become a place where people can say whatever they want, whether it's good, bad, ugly. And sometimes the ugly is really ugly, and people forget that as footballers, we are actual humans and we have lives outside of football, we have family, and things do affect us at some point. And during that time, I think that we weren't playing badly at a club, and I wasn't playing badly, but certain people decided to just send abusive messages after pretty much every game, and it got to a point where I thought, this is not okay. Like, it didn't matter what I did on the pitch, and it does affect you at some point because you like so much of it, you start thinking, oh, are they right? But obviously you know that they're not. But I think it was becoming so much that sometimes you have to speak out, and fortunately for us as players, we have platforms where we are able to do that. And I think when you do say something, then people start deleting all the negative comments that they've made, and they think that that's okay. But if I can have a tiny effect on people maybe thinking before they write something, then I'll absolutely do that.
Did it have a positive response then, what you said?
I would like to say yeah, but I think it's going to take a lot more than me in the world to say something. Obviously, a few people have spoken out about it, and you can only use your platform as much as you can. And I think, yeah, actions speak louder than words. But like I say, that any small impact that I can have, and it can build over a bigger time, then I'll try my best to do that for sure.
Do you think people like us and fans, we're sometimes guilty of forgetting that you're just people who happen to be good at football?
I think it's human for sure. I think even we forget. Sometimes even I forget that I actually have a life outside of football as well. It's so difficult. It's what we do every single day, and I think a lot of it comes from passion. People are passionate, fans are passionate. Sometimes it comes out in the wrong way. But like I say, when it's consistently negative, that's where it's a problem. You have to take the good with the bad sometimes, and I understand people can get carried away and let their emotions get away from them. But yeah, I think just a reminder of coming back to that, and it can have a serious effect on people's mental health, and I didn't want that to continue happening.
Hiya, are you okay?
Hiya.
You just alluded to it there. I know it's nearly March, but New Year, first camp of 2026. What's been sort of the main messaging from Young Wilkinson since you girls got back on camp?
Just basically what you've just said. It's a new year, it's a fresh start. Our goals haven't changed. We're still trying to do the best that we can, perform the best that we can, and not a lot's changed. The mindset and the mentality hasn't. It's always been there, but obviously it's a different perspective now because it's not a Euros, it's a World Cup that we're trying to qualify for, and before you get there you can't think too far ahead. You've got to take each step as it comes. So yeah, that's basically it really.
And for you personally, obviously
you mentioned Fishlock, Katie Barton aren't there on the pitch anymore. Do you feel that sort of extra responsibility now? Do you see yourself as one of the leaders? I know you had a birthday a couple of weeks ago, so happy birthday. But
Thanks.
coming here, looking around thinking, oh my word, I might be actually one of the players that some of the younger ones now look up to and will turn to.
Yeah, I think we have quite a lot of players in this team that are really good leaders. I probably haven't really looked at it like that because obviously I've still not really let them leaders go just yet, so I'm still kind of clinging on to that. And I think the younger ones coming through have really done very well. They've stepped up when they've needed to, and that's massively important too. I've missed out on a lot of game time through injuries and things, so the most important thing for me is making sure that my availability to be on the pitch is up there. And I think if I can go about things and try and help the younger ones coming through as well, make good choices and things like that, and prep themselves to be there for the games, then I'll absolutely do that. So yeah.
And if I could ask you about Jess as well, just the fact that she hasn't disappeared from Wales, just how valuable do you think she's going to be for yourselves, but also to Rianne, the backroom staff and everything, as you start on this really long journey to hopefully get to Brazil next year?
Yeah, she's part of the furniture, so we definitely don't want her to go. So if we can have her here in some capacity and that be a coach, then absolutely. She's got so much knowledge of the game, and to be able to have her there for advice or opinion or coaching you or pointing out something that you could have done better, it's only going to help us better. And if we can have more players that think like Jess and play like Jess, then why wouldn't we do that? So yeah, we're grateful for her to give us a time, and obviously she's in pre-season just now with Seattle and she's come over. It just shows how much Wales means to Jess. So for her to do that for us, we always want to give back.
Is she strict? So what's she been like?
No, she's alright so far.
Is she sat on a different table when you're having food and everything else?
The first day she still sat with us, so
Okay.
yeah, which she was in a black kit instead of the same one as us, which was weird. But yeah, and she's slightly going over to the staff a bit more, which is weird. But yeah, it must be difficult for her to try and do that transition as well. But she's doing good.
I know you alluded to it earlier and you missed it just now when we were all trying to work out how you actually get to the World Cup, because I think most of us don't even know. But have you, as a collective, even spoken about it? Is Brazil kind of in the conversation already, even though you've got a hell of a long way to get there through this complicated route?
It's not really mentioned just yet. I think it will be maybe closer to the time, but obviously right now these games are still really important to us, so we don't want to lose sight of it, and we know that it's there, but it's kind of in the background at the moment, and these Nation League games are the most important thing. And obviously it's day 2, so maybe if you ask me on day 10, maybe everyone's talking about the World Cup, but just right now it's solely about these 2 games in front of us coming up.
Yeah, finally Czechia and Montenegro to come in this window. How determined are you as a group to start the campaign off on a positive note, considering, like we just said, the results of last year, getting 2 positive results, how massive could that be for this group?
Yeah, I think it would be huge. It's obviously what we want to do. We want to top the group. As forwards, we want to score goals. Defenders want to keep clean sheets. So we'll be going out there to win every game like we always do. Obviously, we finished last year on a good high. And yeah, we want to take that into this year as well. And I think it would be massive for us to start that. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Hi, you're right.
Hiya.
You're someone who's delivered in big moments for your country. Do you feel like you thrive with being in these environments and these sort of high-pressured games?
Yeah, I do love the pressure. I do love it. I'm a little bit strange. But I just think that in this team, I'm really allowed to have freedom and the role that I do. And I think that for me as a player, I really thrive off that. And I know that my teammates have got my back for sure. And whether it's me or someone else, I think I've been fortunate enough to be in the positions to score the goals that we've needed. And when you can do that for your country, it really gives you a buzz. And I think because that's happened quite a bit for me, I feel like every time I come on camp, I'm going to have one of them moments. And I think if you have that confidence to go into the next game thinking I'm going to do something, then it really does help you to try and achieve that. So, but my teammates and the coaching staff give me the confidence to be able to do that in the first place. But yeah, I'm really proud to say of the achievements that I've made for Wales so far, and I do really just want to continue on that path, so hopefully I do.
Definitely. And having now experienced a major tournament, how does that help the squad's belief and mentality heading into a World Cup qualifying campaign?
Yeah, I think I'm glad we had that before the World Cup qualifying campaigns. Obviously, the first time you do something, everything's new and there's a lot of firsts and things like that, and that can be quite difficult. I think we realised a lot in the Euros, some things that we've never faced before and challenges that we will definitely come up against in more qualifiers. So the fact that we've done that once, we now know how to improve it and get the best out of that situation is really useful. But it prepped us as much as we could have been prepped.
And I know you've touched on it a little bit, but you're someone who's had various injuries. How do you think those setbacks and experiences for yourself have helped you, and what have you gained from it, and how can you take it into this campaign?
I think they've just given me a much bigger and probably better perspective on everything as a whole. You appreciate the little things a lot more, and you don't want to be out, so you work the extra little bit harder to make sure that you're in the best shape possible, so you'd never have to go through that again. And you can do that as much as you can, but I also think mentality was a big thing for me. After the first ACL I had, I was flying, and then after the second, it took me a little bit longer to come back, probably more mentally than I did physically. And then when they combine, obviously you're flying, and luckily it happened at a good enough time for me to be able to make the Euros and things like that. So yeah, I think I would probably say the biggest one's perspective. And going into the next qualifying campaign, I have just excitement. I don't really fear a lot anymore. I'm grateful for any moment that I get to be on the pitch, and I take it with both hands. And you never know how long your career is going to be. And I think, yeah, I'm only 27, but you really don't know whether it's going to be gone tomorrow. Like after both ACLs, I really did think that. So I'm very fortunate. I'm very grateful. But it is down to hard work and perseverance, I would say.
And do you feel like you're in the best place physically and mentally because of those experiences?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I think as bad as the injuries were for the length of time, and everyone sees ACL and thinks, oh no, I'm actually quite grateful for them periods of time that I went through. I obviously never want to go through it again, and I wouldn't want to wish it on anyone, but I've come out of it a completely different person with a much better mindset and an attitude towards doing what I do. And I don't want to waste any day, and I think that's really important in this game.
And just finally, I know you've touched on Jess quite a lot, but obviously she's got a new role and you've played alongside her. What sort of relationship and what can you learn from her as a coach instead of a player sort of relationship?
I think me and Jess have always had a really honest relationship, whereas basically as soon as I came in, and I would say to her, if I'm doing something that's not great, then just tell me. Like, I'm quite open to help, criticism, whatever it may be, or good things, and she's really good at doing that. She'll tell you when you've done something good, so you keep repeating it, or she'll give you advice on what you could have done better. And I think that coming from somebody like Jess, you really value that. I would value it from anybody in this team because they've all got such great experience. But I think most people in the team, when Jess speaks to you and when she's giving you advice, or she's saying well done, or you could do this, everybody's like, oh my God, I'm going to listen. So she just has that presence. And like I say, to be able to still have that even when she's not by your side on the pitch is just unbelievable.
Playing almost upon us, how much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I think we're all very much looking forward to it. Obviously off the back of a historical year, a challenging year, but it's a new campaign and new goals to set, and we're all really excited for the start of it.
Jess Fishlock, the player, is gone. Kaylee Barton is also gone. And the first time in a while you haven't had those two in a qualifying campaign. Does it feel like a new era, a new start?
I think somewhat, but also like, you know, the likes of Jess is staying on as a coach, and I think that's, you know, huge experience for us as a team. You know, the player that she is and the experiences that she holds, I think it'll be really important for us. And even, any player that's left now, I think, you know, they're always nearby. And I think as a team, we're such a tight-knit group and a family that I think all those experiences are still within us.
Yeah, what's Jess Fishlock, the coach, been like? Has she changed? Is she telling you off all of a sudden?
Yeah, she's hard work, she is. No, I'm joking. No, honestly, it hasn't really felt like much change in total honesty. I think, you know, even as a player, she was always coaching and I was always trying to learn off her. And she's even more the same as a coach, always coaching, always trying to give those extra details. And I think it says a lot about her that she's, you know, wanted to stay involved. And I think we're all really grateful as a team that she is involved in this.
You've been to a European Championship. What would it mean to get to a World Cup?
I think it would mean the world. Obviously, we can say that we've been to the Euros, but none of us can say we've been to a World Cup. And I think that's the next thing now for us as a team. You know, there's new goals, and to continue to inspire the next generation, I think is hugely still important to us. But of course, for this camp, it's just to focus on the next 2 games.
Yeah, you've got to get off to a good start, haven't you, and focus on these early games. As players, though, are you aware of how complicated the qualification process is? There's a lot of work to do, isn't there, if you're going to get to Brazil?
Yeah, of course. And I think even qualifying for the Euros, you know, I think that pathway is there clearly. But for us as players, you know, we just focus on every day, turning up for training and these next 2 games. And as long as we, you know, do our job on the pitch, everything will fall into place. And
when you start this group, do you think we want to finish top? That's the target?
I think, of course. Obviously, we can say we've been to a major tournament now, and you know, with that comes expectation. But we have that expectation of ourselves as well. We want to be that kind of team that you know, people has an expectation on, and we want to be there come to 2027.
But you've a tough fixture first up. Czech Republic ranked 1 place higher by FIFA as it stands. Away from home, it's going to be a difficult one to begin with. Yeah,
of course. It will be a difficult game, but I think all these games will have different challenges. You know, either home, where we play them home or away, they'll each bring something different. And I think it's nice. We've got a really long build-in into the first game after being away from each other for a long time. So we get a lot of time together ready for the first game.
After the winless run before Switzerland in your most recent game, how much of a lift did that give everybody? Did it take a bit of the burden off your shoulders?
I think in some ways, obviously as a footballer in general, you know, to not win for such a long time, I think, you know, as a footballer you take a responsibility in that, and it can hurt. But, you know, as a core we always had faith, and we knew that year was a challenging year with the opposition we faced. But I think definitely the win against Switzerland definitely gave us some confidence going into this campaign.
Thank you.
Thank you. Diolch.
Playing away from home in the European match, how important is it to start strong and set the tone for the campaign?
I think it will be hugely important. Obviously going away can bring different challenges. We have high expectations as a team. So we want to be hit the ground running come Tuesday.
And obviously some of the games will be played across Wales in Netherlands and Wrexham. How excited are you to be going and touring sort of across the country?
I think it will be really exciting for us as a team, especially off the back of reaching a major tournament. It'd be really nice, to see all the support in different areas in Wales. And just to see the kind of impact that we've had on the country and continue to have as well.
And how important is that for younger girls and inspiring the next generation of female footballers?
I think it's hugely important. Off the back of the Euros, it was really nice to see the impact we had. That's something that we as a team, with every campaign we do, that's why we do it, is like one of the reasons is to inspire the next generation. And, to see that come to life when we go to different areas in Wales is really special to us as a team.
Just finally, touching on Jess, she's obviously part of the coaching setup now. How important is she for this environment and for you as players?
she's hugely important. I think I speak for everyone when I say that. The experience she has in campaigns, on the pitch, and even now that she's like a coach, it'll still be even more valuable. And she can be that voice when we need her, especially in specific moments during this campaign. I'm sure we can rely on her. Diolch.